Antonio Brown, what?
NFL issues. So it's like one of the best wide receivers in the league. He's like not in the NFL right now.
Is it because of that rape thing?
Yeah, he had a rape thing. Yeah, he allegedly called the general manager of his team a cracker. He fucked up a lot of money though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we can break down how much money he fucked up if we talk about him. I got Jay-Z NFL issues as one of the.
Is that even a thing? That's swept under the rug by now.
The Jay-Z thing? People still talking about it.
Really?
What happened to Jay-Z?
Jay-Z signed a deal with the NFL behind Colin Kaepernick's back, but people are just I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see what the deal.
Was he cool with Kaepernick?
No.
I
don't think they know each other like that.
Why does he owe him loyalty?
I have no idea.
Yeah. But people, they come down hard on Jay-Z. They come down hard on Jay-Z because he was like boycotting them. But his thing is, I do get that part. For y'all, I can work with y'all. Y'all not about to hire me. We could be partners.
I do get the part of you were boycotting them. Now all of a sudden, now money's involved. You're okay with them, and
but there's been money involved.
Big money, but
I said it's kind of money.
Yeah, so it's kind of the point of what were you fighting for then? Were you always just fighting for money but you were making it seem like you actually cared? You know what I mean? And then not only that, the fact that they used Jay-Z as like they used him. His image, and that imagery of him talking that whole time. You know what I mean?
Was that a setup of, oh, hey, you want to be a billionaire? We're going to crash you down.
No.
Jay-Z is already, he don't need them. No, my thing is, they need Jay-Z more than he needs them.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That was always his thing.
That's the other argument of they're using him he's being used like kind of like people are arguing that they're using him kind of like they used Barack to shut black people up. Like, look, we got him with us. Shut up. Leave me alone.
The only thing is Jay-Z don't got the track record of Barack.
What do you mean track record?
Meaning like, Barack's getting the places that he gets to be used, where Jay-Z gets in the places that he gets to actually break the barriers. He has a strong history of breaking barriers, title, things like that.
He's not a politician. Yeah.
He's not really a pilot. Like, he actually goes there and does what he's supposed to do versus just, play that role to be accepted. What these other people do.
Yeah.
He don't got that Candace Owens shit in him at all.
Candace Owens, you're not a fan of her?
I mean, I'm not mad at her. I just don't like how she approaches her subjects. I feel like she kills her great points. But
because she has great points.
She has great points. To me, for real, she has good points, but the way she goes about delivering it, because she seems like she want to be accepted so bad, she kind of kills like what she.
Yes.
Who are you talking about?
Candace Owens.
Because I agree that education is way more important. The black man head of the household is way more important than all the bullshit that they portray in the news. But her rhetoric, how she goes about explaining shit,
because she's more of a rebel rouser in a way. I feel like she's purposely confrontational.
Or she quit.
Yeah, I think they did something like she got exiled on some type of level. I heard him talking about it on the joint. Yeah, she said something about white supremacy is a hoax or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So who is she supporting actually?
She's a Republican, but yeah, Trump.
She's Trump's. She supports. She's kind of like Trump's. Like how they say preaching the gospel. She preaches the gospel of Trump.
It's a Haitian boy from New York. His name is King Face. Oh my gosh! When everybody tune into the type of talk he be having, we need to get him on this too. We need to get him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we need to get him on.
Yeah,
I'm gonna work on doing that. We're gonna get him on there.
Who's that?
I don't know him, but
King Face. I don't know. Have you ever seen a black dude wearing a MAGA hat?
The one that was on that thing that went viral that you had sent me.
I sent it to
Somebody
you.
sent me something with some dude that was the dude was like staring on the screen like this, and there was someone behind him, and he had the Trump.
Yeah. I didn't send that to you, but he's just be on the he basically be on some Candace Owens type time. He from like Brooklyn and Queens area, Haitian born too.
So he's like Kanye West.
He's basically
Kanye
West defender.
So Kanye West want us to praise him?
No.
The album came out?
Yeah, it's called Jesus is King.
Damn, I feel like I should have listened to it because I didn't watch the whole church thing either, so I feel kind of bad for that to speak on it.
So I have starting opinions on it. I'm still watching this situation because, granted,
have you watched the church?
No, I did not see that though. I saw
Wait,
clips
there's
of
a
it.
church section.
Like
the Sunday service.
Sunday service. He has like a little
church on tour. He's like going on tour with church.
What the?
Oh he's taking church on tour, like kind of thing.
When we do cover it though, I'm going to definitely talk about his consistency because what year did Jesus Walks come out? Let me look that up.
See, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say 90% I'm skeptical of him, but I still got that 10% because he has been preaching since he started.
That's 2004, so this is 15 years removed. This is what got him on the scene. He stuck to his story. So
right,
he's a rebel. To me, he's just a little lost. So yeah, we could get into all this alleged snitching that's going on. You got Jim Jones, Tekashi 6ix9ine. He's tied into that.
Jim's snitching now?
No. People are accusing him of snitching.
They're accusing him of being an informant.
Exactly, because how is it that he was on these recorded calls
and nothing happened?
But nothing happened.
And Mel Murder got like 11 years or something.
Exactly. Yeah, that's one of his old artists, so it's not looking too good. So they got on him quick.
The interview that he had, he never said that he was not an informant. He didn't say he was. He just said that there's some things that he's not going to speak about. There was an interview that he had with...
That was on Breakfast Club.
What's that lady named?
Angie Martinez. I seen it.
That was
I seen both of them. He said it on both.
Yeah. He didn't say he was an informant. He just said there's some things that he, probably did or he ain't gonna speak about.
He's real mad at 50 Cent though, because 50 Cent is blowing that shit up. Everybody reacted.
50 Cent stay instigating. So he was just like, what 50 Cent?
So he called him a rat, ultimately. He was like, so Jimmy an informant. And then 50 Cent funny as shit, because he was like, yo, everybody don't tell Ja Rule, Jim Jones, or somebody else that I'm in San Antonio, Texas at the Four Seasons. That nigga 50 crazy. So
wait,
we can touch on that.
Real? He's a goofball.
So how do y'all feel about the tank shit? The you don't gotta be gay to suck two dick shit.
No, he said if just because you suck dick, you ain't gay.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think if a girl having an experience with another woman and she sticks with a man that she's gay?
Yes. She has gay in her.
She got partial gay in her. She is willing to be in some type of threesome.
Yeah, she's got gay in her for sure.
I don't think she's gay. Yeah, I don't think she's gay. I just think like I'm not gonna call her outright gay, but she at least a bisexual.
Well,
I think bisexual is gay though.
I mean,
but that's the thing about the LGBT community. You gotta be real. You gotta be real careful.
Wait. I think a guy or a female that's not into being in a relationship with a man or a woman, but they experienced it, are heteroflexible.
One of my friends actually put me on a term because she don't believe in that. She got a lot of gay friends. She said they're asexual.
Okay.
Asexual means you're not attracted to anything.
No, heteroflexible means that you're predominantly straight, like Tank said, but you you had an experience or you
not asexual.
Yeah,
That's the
asexual
worst
means
hetero
thing.
you're not attracted to
hetero
anything.
flexible.
Isn't that what
Hetero flexible?
Yes.
That's a made
Hey,
up word, bro.
No, it's not. You can look it up on Google.
This
yeah,
is
they
how I
run
believe
them.
it. And maybe
It's
because
the
I'm old
same thing
school.
as that whole them,
Yo,
their.
Lauren is serious. She's serious. I just looked it up.
It's just,
Hetero flexibility is a form of a sexual orientation or situational sexual behavior characterized by minimal homosexual activity and otherwise primarily
I've
heterosexual
been knew this.
orientation. Hey,
Yo, I'm
learn
This
dead.
something new.
all right. Cut all
Yo,
that.
so
Saying
Myself
I
up.
agree with Tank because like I don't know,
I'm,
I agree with
I'm,
him because
No,
I
no, no,
know
no, no.
people that
Look,
are
look.
hetero flexible.
No, no,
I
no, no,
don't
no.
agree with Tank, but I understand where he's
Yeah.
trying to come from. I
Yeah,
don't
but
agree
I
with
mean
him
if
at
you
all. I definitely think if
I feel like
because
when you
my
label
whole
yourself
thing is how
as
you gonna
bi,
deliver that to the person.
No, it's not my. This.
I just feel like a lot of people put labels on themselves out of fear of what other people would think of them.
They would, and it's simple.
This is a conversation we're gonna start with though.
This is simple. If you get turned on by the same sex, you're gay. It's simple.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you like both or not, you're either straight or you're gay. Straight means you only heterosexual. Gay means you're not straight. That's all it is.
See, now the
Gay
only reason I disagree with that, even
Yeah.
though I understand the simplicity of what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
is right now LGBTQ community runs the world, and if they don't agree with it being delivered in that message, and they want you using words like hetero flexibility, they're like,
Okay.
no, you're not completely defining the full John that
I
we're
was
saying.
just
We're
talking
saying
to
that
one of my
hetero flexibility is also a part of sexual attractiveness.
But I'm not.
You know,
I'm not interested in that.
one of my
No, I feel that vibe.
one of my customers
I'm not interested.
was sharing a detail about how now in schools, you know how back in the day when we was in college, it was like all the girls, all the boys. Now it was boy, girls, girl, girl, boy, girl, whatever. Like now you don't have to be a roommate with a boy if you're a guy. You can be a roommate with a girl. And y'all
Oh,
can
yeah,
share.
it's been like that for a little while. My
Yeah,
school.
she was telling me that, and she was just
I think
like,
that's out of pocket.
she said that they do a lot of like them stuff too. Like they had like a whole thing at her daughter's school about identifying people as them and not her or him. And I was like, I thought that was only like customer service, but they doing that everywhere now. Like
I'm gonna be honest. If I was in college and my fucking roommate was a girl, I was gonna be busting her ass. There was no way. There was no way. Yeah, wife, you bugging out. She's right next to me. There's nothing even covering. Most of these college dorm rooms, it's a bed and a bed. Like, come on.
yeah.
I'm telling you, this is a play.
We're gonna make these fucking beds be together at this point.
It's a play to make people confused, yo, on what they are. They trying to teach kids to be confused when you're a kid. No, you're not a boy or a girl. You're whatever you want to be. No, kids need guidance. Kids need to know, you know what I mean? They're trying to make a play to confuse people. And that's what bothers me about it.
I feel that, but
They're trying to make kids
worse.
not judge other. They're trying to make kids not see things one way.
I think it's deeper than the kids. What I think they're trying to do is
it's not just kids though; it's everybody.
They're trying to teach a new way of parenting in this agenda as well. Because there was this lady, this boy Shabazz OG. I follow him on Instagram. He be posting new stuff every day. He's like my news. So he it was a 7-year-old kid that went to the dad, and I don't know, I remember it was a girl or a boy, and they told the dad, like, I'm a girl, but it was a boy. He's like, why you saying you're a girl? Mommy said I'm a girl. So now Mom Duke's got the child believing that the child is a girl. When the child's a boy, you 7 years old, making these decisions. Shabazz OG argument is that they can make them decisions. They should be able to go drink too. They should be able to go smoke weed too. They should be able to go make any adult decisions at 7 years old. So when I feel like when they got the parents believing this is okay,
how about the whole
push it on the kids, and then
thing?
I'm gonna get into that. To go even deeper is like it was this lady that was on the bottom of his post that was like, what was her thing? It's so many people that want to reverse engineer years after and retract from their transgenderism, whatever. So they like, no, they want to go back to their normal selves now. You get what I'm saying? But they probably did all these procedures. They probably did all this identity changing just because their parents probably seen the sign. Now their parents start feeding them this lie subconsciously, and then they run with that, and they realize that that's not what they even truly feel. So the parent could also cause them to be on that type of time. Not to mention experiences of being touched or whatever the case may be or what they go through. But I
The
think
one part that really pissed me off is the pad one and the tampon one. Okay, women get their periods. Transgenders do not get their. If you're a guy and you want to be a woman, you cannot get your freaking period. Period.
Well, they're
So
working
why
on it.
they? Huh?
They're working on it though.
Let me ask y'all this though.
You know they giving them wombs now.
What
I know.
bathroom
I
you
heard
think they
about
should
that
go in?
too, but it's not the same.
Well, what bathroom you feel like a transgender should go in? Like if it's a girl, a girl that's turning into a nigga, she
should
in the
go
bathroom
to
with
the
girls.
bathroom.
Okay, but a nigga turning into a girl with a dress on.
He goes
Should
to
he
the
should he should stand by the stall and piss, pull his joint out with his dress on?
I've seen transgenders in the women's bathroom. But I don't think it's appropriate. Like, because you can easily put that on and act like a transgender and you can rape somebody.
No, that's a fact. I mean, I don't want to accuse
not
them of
safe.
rape.
Like,
but
I get they're trying to do this whole kumbaya thing, but everybody not on that kumbaya wave. Like, let people be them. Let people experience them. Like, stop trying to rub what one person dealt with against the whole world. Like, everybody's not the same. Like, I don't like that. Like, I don't have a problem with transgender women or men. I deal with transgender men a lot. Like, that's like a lot of people. That's why I'm like, I understand the LGBT whatever community a little bit different deal, but I'm not about to sit there and give them like this glow. Like you're you. I'm me. I'm not putting you on a pedestal because you're a transgender and you're a LGBTQ. That's your personal feeling towards how you feel about what you like, what you dislike. Same thing. If I like the color green, I don't want everybody to be like, oh, green. She likes green. That's my personal color. So if you're personally gay, that's your preference. I don't have to worship you because you're gay. I don't have to worship you because I don't have to make you feel like neutral because you're gay. That's your feeling. Same thing when you talk about at work. When you come to work, there's transgenders. Their name is Rebecca now, but on their credit card it says Tom, and you got to ask them. We need identification for Tom, and if the ID that you're giving us is Tom, now we got to call them, or we got to do this, and I get it, but like y'all doing too much. Oh, they could be offended. Well, Tom, you change your fucking name everywhere.
Exactly.
Stop making us feel like we gotta get in trouble because you're a transgender and we're doing all like now you're doing too much because we're not responsible for your transformation.
For your feelings, exactly.
Like we're not responsible for that shit.
Because you know how they you know what they trying to use it kind of like how Black people struggle was, and I hate it.
But they're using more value in LGBTQ than there are in actually Black people.
Oh yeah, long time.
They don't care about race for real, but they really care about because that's where the money at.
They'll use
money is not where race is at. Money is where the gay is at because a lot of people are heteroflexible, gay, trans, whatever, and they're those straight as a doormat in front of you, and behind closed doors, that's where the money at. That's what they do. There's so many people that are.
I think that like I once said before, I think the reason why that movement is so powerful is because it's the most unified movement. So when you're it's the most unified and most diverse movement. So I tell you,
gay people could be black, white, orange, everything.
Exactly. So even though let's say there is some racism amongst the gay community, right? At the end of the day, they do everything for the betterment good of gay people. Black people could lose focus fast in doing the betterment of a Black person. You know, your gayness could give you a little privilege nowadays. At the end of the day, your Blackness it's hard for your Blackness to give you privilege outside of a policy in your township saying that, well, because you're here, we have to have this amount of minority, so that's where you get your little advantage. But then it's still, that means that we just got to give you 1 out of 25. We can't have y'all completely obliterated from whatever we have going on. We got to have y'all somewhat in our system. But gay people, they come together. They're all different shapes and colors. They're unified, and they move for the betterment of their image. Because no matter what you do over the last 15 years, 20 years, it's been accept this image, accept this image, accept this image, agree with this image, like this image. Because now you almost can't even disagree with it. On the surface, it got to be behind closed doors to disagree with it. For the most part,
you can still disagree with it, and that's one thing I would say that is actually for someone who's not okay. I would say one thing: it is easier for Black people to disagree with it, and then because other people feel like I feel like they feel so they're so scared to be offensive that they don't
because of the cancel joint.
Yeah, that they don't say it, but Black people, I feel like we still got a little bit more of a leeway to say like I don't agree with it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, so as far as the unification thing goes, I would say this. I wouldn't say it's completely unified. What I would say is there's a lot of money behind it. Anything can look unified if there's money behind it. It's not necessarily unified because each group within LGBT thing, they still have their own little battles. Like right now, transgenders are winning it. For the longest, and probably forever,
but
white gay men are always going to be the better of all of them. White gay men are always going to be the more powerful, the ones with the more money, the ones who can ultimately say, who can ultimately carry the whole thing. You know what I mean? As far as like unification, I wouldn't say there's total unification. I tell you, money. I think a lot of it is funding and interests that are still put.
I'll tell you why I disagree with what you're saying, mainly because think about it, LGBTQ or whatever else is in it, right? No matter what you say about like a gay, a lesbian, transgender, even if they're for the betterment of one part of the acronym, they don't set back or try to fight against the other. If everything is about the outside external force attacking them, it's never about them attacking each other. It's always about we're gonna get ahead a little bit, we're gonna get ahead a little bit, we're gonna get ahead a little bit, we're gonna get ahead a little bit. But for real, the focus is not on dividing amongst each other, unless it's just to better us. I don't see transgenders, at least publicly, shit on gays or shit on lesbians as the movement. They just do whatever it takes to make you feel bad for them to big themselves up. And then the next group does it and they big themselves up. And the next group does it and they big themselves up.
Okay.
So then you see it you see these different groups that are all low-key different, but the acronym puts them together and you just see that shit move up little by little by little by little by little. Because I know damn well when I was watching TV 2005 days, when I was 10 years old, I didn't see none of the shit that I see on TV today.
So how about this? Let's switch it back to Black, or even minority, right? So in that instance, would you say the equivalent of that would have been for Black people to get with Hispanic people, to get with Indian people, to get with Chinese people, and do the same thing that the LGBT is doing?
Well, it's more.
Because I could go deep into that without even going into Spanish. Just because look at what's behind you. We're Haitian. It's Black people that they don't make themselves synonymous with Haitians. There's Haitians that don't make themselves synonymous with Jamaicans. There's Haitians that don't make themselves synonymous with Dominicans.
So you say within even the Black community?
Within even the Black community, we're divided. And we think that we have a difference in who we are. That's how conquered we are, type of joint. You know what I'm saying? We're so divided that we don't know we're the same. We can't feel the same. No, you're Haitian. No, I'm African. You know what I'm saying? So even Haitians don't like to be synonymous with African. African Americans don't really like to be synonymous with African. This is a new movement of being fake woke or whatever the case may be, that people are now gaining this perspective, but we're still not really making it all one. That's why we're not really progressing at the speed that we need to.
Would you say that? Okay, well, would you agree that maybe that's because when that was happening, other things took the forefront, like the gay thing? For instance, when Barack Obama became president, right? Before, when he was running for presidency, everything seemed to be about black people, right? And how he's going to make black people this. After him, everything's going to be better for black people. And the moment he gets into office, he did nothing for black people except they went straight into gay, right? He did
But it wasn't up to him.
you know what I
It
mean?
was because
So
the people that was representing the House of Representatives didn't want him to do anything for black people. Not that Obama.
he could have done it.
I'm starting to see your point more and more now. I'm really starting to see what you're saying.
He could have done it. He just, like I said, money and power, money and influence, money behind the Democratic. I would say the Democrat right now, they're funded by gays. They're funded by the LGBT groups. They're funded to speak for LGBT. If they're not speaking for LGBT, if they veer off of LGBT in any way, they lose money. In politics, how does politics run? It's all run through money. Whichever group right now can support us the most, and black people are always looked as black people always looked as, yeah, we can get votes. We're big with the votes, but when it comes to actual money, people don't look at us as a supporter money wise. So we're always overtaken by whoever has more money than black people, which typically is more than, you know what I mean? Which is well, okay. Together we do have a lot of money, but it is harder to bring a big group of people together and get them to put money into one thing than to get a small group of people with a lot of money to put their money into one thing.
Well, don't
So
you
when you have a small group of people that have a lot of money, like gays and people that support gays, they're easier to mobilize and put money behind than taking all the poor black people in the country and say put money together. Until you have your Jay-Z's, you have your, those type of people that tend to do something, but at the end of the day, they're
all
my
about
opinion,
themselves.
exactly. Even them, in my opinion, they have a little bit of a. They even have a little bit of a. What's the like residual slave thing
Mentality.
that is, when I get to a certain position, I need to stay in this position. So I'm not gonna go all in this.
Right. I can't blame them because I think they're very aware that the change doesn't happen without real education, because the real problem is education. That's why I say Candace Owens low key makes good points. She just goes horrible ways about expressing it.
She's trying to get a soundbite too much.
Exactly. Black people are miseducated, so we're not economically advanced. So an example is Jews perceived to be more economically advanced than everyone, but at the same time, they use the most government assistance than everyone. How is this so?
That's a whole entire fact.
That's two opposite ends of the spectrum, right? But they're so unified, they so internally educated that they do everything within their own economy. They're not dependent on everybody else. They kind of stick together. They're not divided. They're not adopting. They use their own religion. They don't adopt others. Black people are so lost with the language barriers, the religion barriers. We don't really know us. We don't know us.
We were raped of our culture. That makes sense.
Yeah.
We're almost like the mental equivalent of Native Americans. Native Americans were wiped out physically. We were wiped out mentally.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like,
I mean, now
so we're kind of set up for what we're getting.
Are getting into their being black. Like they're trying to do something different with being black. Like they're trying to make being black a positive
I think
And
we're doing
we've been
good
doing that
at
for a
it.
while. We've been doing that for a little while.
but now we're being recognized for it more now than we were before. Like back in the day, if you were black and you did something, it was just like, okay, you did something, you're black, who cares? Now it's like, oh, a black person did something. A black person finally something. Like for example, the Miss America, Miss USA, I mean Miss something, Miss USA and Miss something else was all black women last year or this year. They was hype as hell about that. Like when Jay-Z became the first black
billionaire hip hop.
Millionaire. It's like little things that black people achieve is inspiring minority black people to do better or to change the way that they do stuff. So it's kind of like motivation for us, even though we're doing it because we want to show people that we could do it too, but we're also like challenging that fear of black people ain't shit, black people can't do much. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
But to drive back home Joe's point is that at the end of the day, what is done in our community is the education doesn't change. The education is not advancing. So just like Obama came in and did nothing, we still fed the same spoon. So we still have to start from the bottom no matter how far we go, because they're like, you know what? I can give you the education that they're learning in the suburbs. I can give you the education they learn in the higher class communities, or I could give you this. Well, I'm gonna give you this. So just take this. It's free. I got you. And it's like, I'm gonna set you up for failure. Then I'm gonna make the image of you either be gay or be fatherless. So you're gonna take gay or fatherless. So now it's just a subconscious psychological warfare of this propaganda just being attacked on our brain. So with us feeling like the tokenism of one billionaire in hip hop, even though there's multiple white billionaires of hip hop, these owners of these publishing companies, whatever the case may be, these companies that made so much money off of black people. We get one token that's supposed to make us feel good about our position, so they can keep taking advantage. And that's what America is built on, taking advantage.
And that's what I liked about what you said. So that bring it back to what you said about the Jewish community. You see how you brought up that fact that they seem to be the richest, but they use the most government assistance.
They do.
Yeah. So think about that for a second.
But people don't know. People don't use that against them.
Right. No, people don't know that.
Let me tell you.
Let
him say what he's going to say, because he's going to talk about the perception versus the reality. I can already tell.
Perception and reality, as well as your education comment. You know what that tells me? That means they share within their community, how to get up.
Yeah.
If they're using most government assistance, that means they know about it. The fact that all we know about is, welfare. No, they know about more than just welfare. They probably know the systems. They share it within each other. When black people know something, they don't share it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's the thing. So
certain things.
We don't share. We share. I'm
gonna give you a deep example of sharing as something you're talking about that I don't know if you ever heard that goes on in the Jewish community. I once heard a story. This Jewish guy said, I don't remember exactly where I heard it, right? But it's something that's not, because of the perception of how black people look at each other in this community. You
ever drink ginger beer?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
They're not always good. Yeah. Depending on where you go, well, most places you go to Jewish community, you could do this, but nowhere in the black community, you most likely won't be able to do this. Maybe somewhere in the good South. In the Jewish community,
too. It's not just Jewish; it's Africans too.
Right, but in the Jewish community, the guy, he said that, I don't remember where the story was, but he went into he was somewhere that he didn't belong. He was in like a city or a new state that he didn't belong. He was lost. But he found the closest Jewish neighborhood, knocked on the door, let them know what he had going on, and they took care of him for a few weeks. This would never happen in the black community.
Never.
This would never happen. Who the fuck is you? Who you trying to rob us?
Exactly.
That's the first type time I know. I would be on that type time. I would be on that type time. Are you trying to die today? That's what I would ask that person.
And you know, and you know what's crazy about that? All of that, whenever I hear stuff like that, that just brings me back to slavery.
Yes.